All right, guys, I'm just gonna riff a little bit because I have a little bit of time to record. I was gonna do a video on another massive recommends for Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and I did all this research for it, and I was writing out the script, and somehow it got deleted. In my massive storage of a brain, I didn't remember to save it, or it just bugged out on me. I don't really know what happened with that. But anyway, I'm just going to spout out some nonsense and just put this video out there because I'm testing out some video editing software, and that's what I like to do with my weekends. I just like to sit down in my lonesome in the solitude of my room and just record, and usually I talk about a specific movie, but in this case I am just going to talk about movies in general, maybe some predictions on what 2017 is going to be like, because, well, depending on when this video comes out, I mean, it's still the beginning of a year, and I just want to make a video about it because as far as blockbusters go, it wasn't that great with Independence Day resurgence. I didn't even see that, but I just heard it was pretty bad. But I really hope that this year is good. I need it to be good because, nobody goes into a movie theater wanting it to be bad. I mean, maybe some critics that are stereotypical, I want this to be bad. I'm not like that because I have a normal human person job, and that takes a lot of time and energy on my part. And then to go to the movie theater, and depending on how hungry I am, it's gonna be like 15 to 20 bucks to go to the theater and to enjoy myself, and then when I walk out of it being like, man, that was all right, that's a huge disappointment, man. You want it to be good. But anyway, yeah, I've just been catching up on movies that I missed out, I think almost as far back as 2015, because I'm barely watching The Hateful Eight and The Revenant and all that, but I'm kind of just catching up on the good stuff from 2016, and maybe I'll do a video analysis on one of those or something like that. But in the meantime, I'm kind of just catching up, and there's not a big rush because January is kind of the dumping ground for crappy movies, since a lot of the effort goes into the movies at the tail end of the year because everyone wants to get nominated for an Oscar or just some kind of award or something like that. So January is kind of the beginning, the fresh start. It's the Monday of the movie year. Not a lot of good stuff comes out in January, sometimes February. We had Deadpool come out on a February, Kingsman came out on a February, I think that was 2 years ago. But point being is that I'm catching up on my movies, you guys, and it's just a fun time. And now that I have a little bit of downtime, I'm not as busy as I used to be. And I know I keep saying that, and I'm all right, I'm gonna do videos again, but sometimes it's the time to edit the video and to put it all together and to do all this mumbo jumbo stuff. And sometimes I just haven't even seen a new movie lately. I have nothing to report on. I got the time to do a video, but it's too broke to see anything because I spent all my money on life and mediocre to okay movies. So anyway, I don't really know if this is kind of an update or if I haven't even predicted anything. So 2017, I really hope that it's gonna be popping for some of the movies coming out. We're starting off, I think March is gonna be kind of the outbreak month of just all this crap hitting the fan. I think Kong and Power Rangers are coming out around that time, so kind of looking forward to that. I mean, with Hollywood, it's kind of the same deal. They put out a branding that is established, usually something from the 80s or 90s, and they're let's put a new skin on it and see if people still like it. Do people like nostalgia? We're banking on it. So we'll see how those movies go. But the movies that I really look forward to are the movies like The Founder, where it's about McDonald's, and it's I didn't know I wanted a movie about McDonald's until you put Michael Caine, not Michael Caine, Michael Keaton in it, and I'm dude, I want to see that. I didn't really care about the story up until this point. Big Mac in my mouth. I'm whoa, I wonder how this came to be. But movies that are more independent, more unlike the mainstream, are the movies that I look forward to because a lot of the independent directors have a better grasp of their vision, and there's not a lot of corporate backing that are just breathing down their necks for this movie has to be like this, and we have to go through extensive rewrites, and we have to tweak with the editing, we have to swap in whatever, you know, because they're dealing with a bigger business, so there's more cooks in the kitchen, more chefs with their hands in the pots, you know. I don't really know if that analogy works in real life. Usually it's one chef handles pot and not multiple people are sticking their hands down it, but the point remains. And so that is why I'm looking more forward to the mid to low budget type movies, and of course I'm looking forward to things like Star Wars and everything like that later down the year, but I'm not putting such a high expectations because everyone's gonna hear about it, everyone's gonna review about it, and you know, it's just gonna be this whole thing. And in this day and age, it's more of an internet wave of a feeling and reviews, like the whole debacle with the Ghostbusters movie that came out. You know, people were hating on it before it even came out, and people were bashing Rotten Tomatoes for giving poor scores before movies are coming out, and they're trying to like sign petitions, and it's just like, this is the world that we live in now. It's like, we're in an internet age, and that's how it is, unfortunately, for these giant tentpole, you know, summer blockbuster movies. And it's got like this huge name, like all this whole backing behind it, you got this whole thing plastered behind it, and it's like, all right, I get it. So the big movie's gonna come out, the whole internet's gonna have even gonna give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, and that's the way it is. Nope, no disputing. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. That's just a little bit of my take on movies nowadays. I mean, being a young person that I am, I, you know, aspire and I look forward to good editing and cinematography and good camera angles, and I've been watching a lot of videos on editing and what makes good editing versus what makes bad editing. You know, I watched this video and it was just so apparent. It brought to the surface all the bad editing of Suicide Squad that came out last year, and I'm like, you know, I thought it was an okay movie. Like, I didn't hate it coming out of it. I didn't do a review on it, I gave it a 3.5, but you know, it's not until someone points out that you got something in your eye that until you realize that you got like a little piece of Prebble, like what Prebble, I mean, you got a little speckle in your eye, you know. That's what I'm trying to say, is that you got it in there, you got to get it out. You didn't know it was in there, but it's there. Everyone sees that it's there. And that was the same thing with the editing in Suicide Squad, and just editing all around. And I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point, but you know, I just love movies, and like, I don't have like the resources to go and be a big budget director, so it's like, who am I to judge the big budget directors from like the little guys or whatever? But you can see that the heart and soul in cinema is there for some people, and you can see that some people are dead inside for some other ones. They're like, yeah, dude, you did not care at all for this one. But anyway, I mean, it's always a good time at the movie theaters, and you know, it's people like me who are just fans of sitting at home, or if it's not at the theater, you know, to just sit down for a couple of hours and have this escapism, to get away from life a little bit and to enjoy a fantasy. I mean, fantasy is not my preferred genre. I mean, I do love fantasy and all that, but just being able to live in a world that is not your own for a little while is the whole reason why us as a society and mankind, or whatever, that's why we like movies. You know, we like movies because there's a picture on a screen and there's some people in it, and it's not us, and it's telling a story, and we want to know how that story ends. And that will end my rant on whatever the hell that I've been talking about. Why are you, whoever's watching this, you know, comment below and tell me that you've watched all of this, because I don't even think I'm gonna like rewatch all of this when I'm done editing and all that. Which, by the way, I shouldn't be talking so much, because just the time and all the effort that it takes into editing, you know, it's a bit of a pain. So I'm just gonna stop now.